Well, it's nice to see you. It's nice to speak to you.
Good to
Nice
see
to meet
you,
you.
Duuuuuval. Nice to
Yeah,
meet you
well,
again.
we met at the draft, yeah, in
Yeah,
Detroit. I remember.
Correct,
yeah.
correct. Yeah, it's been
A
fun.
fellow, a fellow
And it
fan of
is
the year.
but yes, cheers to you. Yes, congratulations.
Looks like you're in a little bit of a fan cave then, huh? Or a background anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. This is pretty much like my little headquarters, so to
Yeah.
say, for my
Yeah, I know
football
the
fan.
feeling.
I just got a bunch of stuff all over the place. I even have a little
Yeah,
Jags
yeah, me too.
flag here that
Oh,
I
there you
got
go.
from.
Yay.
I've been to Jacksonville a few times. I was gonna try to make it out there this weekend, but we got kind of held up over here with some stuff I need to take care of. So I'm gonna have to pass this year. But I'll be
Oh,
watching
that's a
on TV.
shame.
I'm gonna miss everybody, but it's fun. Maybe I won't. Every time I've been there, we've gotten a win. So maybe I'll will be more happy if I stay home.
Oh, it's too bad you're staying home. I hate to hear that. It's just too
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I'm staying home
Good.
too. I'm in London at the moment and I'm not going anywhere just yet. So,
Yeah,
it's
that's a long, long way to travel.
it's me here with my cup of tea. What's your favorite drink to that you're going to go to in the morning? What's the first thing you'll head for?
In the mornings, I gotta have my coffee. Coffee with cream and a little bit of sugar. That gets me through my
Nice.
mornings. Yeah, I'm a pretty simple guy.
Yeah, I
That'll
can't
get
live
me.
without tea.
I get you. Tea's good.
Yeah, I like my coffee too, a little bit of cream, and I get a little bit picky about how it tastes sometimes, but I can manage to go anything but instant. Can't really do that, but hey.
Yeah,
And we've just been trying to kind of shine a spotlight on fans, really. What makes
Yeah.
them
Well,
great,
fans of fans.
super fans also, and then fans of the year if we can. And we're trying to hit up some international fans when we can find them and stuff. So thanks for the recommendation for the Niners guy. I'll
Yeah.
get a hold of him.
yeah. No worries. He seems
That's a
like a really
cool
interesting
fan
character.
of the year. That's a cool fan of the year, the way it's square. I like that.
Yeah, that's the first, you'll only catch this on the first fan of the year, the 2020.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
that,
yeah. Because it
that,
was
that's
the
my
very
group. So
first. Wow, that's quite an honor to be the first ever fan of the year of the Texans. That's really cool.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Anybody can be next, but nobody else can be first.
That's
No, that's
right.
it. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, I know it was 2020. So was this something that they just thought of, kind of because of COVID? Like the fans are really important, or were
Well,
they going to do it
they
anyway?
had it ready to go. They had the idea ready to go, but because of COVID, I guess the sponsors kind of pulled out, because now it's totally associated with Captain Morgan, I believe
Hmm.
Oh,
it. I
yes.
believe that
Yes.
Captain Morgan, right? So we were
Yeah.
just totally picked by the NFL and sponsored by the NFL, and then once we got done with COVID, so to say, sponsors came back, and then it became a little bit more pronounced, because everybody was worried about COVID, and a lot of people were locked up, so you couldn't even get out, So
Yeah.
winning this during the lockdown was amazing for one, and then finding out we were able to at least get to go to the draft and call out a pick. That was amazing because that was like the first thing anybody ever did after the lockdown in a big public
Yeah.
setting. That was
It's
that
amazing
was
with the
pretty big.
lockdown how quickly we forget, how much of how much of a bad time it was. So yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
that
So
nice
was
that
like that
something
that year there
positive.
wasn't like in 2020 there wasn't the draft was remote, but since you were fan of the year 2020, was that the 2021 draft then that you got to go to?
Yeah, it was a 2021 draft that I got to go to. I was at the 2020 virtual draft, but it had nothing to do with fan of the year. I just got picked to do that. So you
Cool.
got to see it
Okay.
there on the screen, during the draft, as opposed to being down in the inner circle, like everybody wants to get into,
Yeah.
these
It's a great
younger players.
place. It's a great place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I
It
mean,
is.
when we went to Detroit, it was a life event. So we're very fortunate to go there and we look back on it
Oh,
fondly.
yeah.
But
And you get
mainly
to take
looking back
some.
on it fondly to meeting all these great people. So yeah.
Yeah, and 2021 was the Trevor draft, wasn't it? Because 2020 was the Joe Burrow one, and that was the virtual one, and then 2021 was the Trevor draft. So you probably got to
Wow.
see him.
He got picked there when we were in Cleveland. So okay. All I remember
Mm.
is Machine Gun Kelly was there.
Yeah, okay.
We had we had such a blast. We had a lot of fun. A lot of it was a blur because we were having so much fun because we'd been locked up, for 6 months or so, because of
Mm,
COVID. So we all went
yeah,
to the night with having a good time.
yeah,
Wow.
The
That was
NFL
amazing.
made it happen, so we enjoyed every minute of it. It was great.
Because some of the first, just like anything else, when you're like one of the first people that does any kind of honor or award or anything, it's going to change year to year. And I'm sure that they've added on things every year. But hey, you get the square badge. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We know that you're an
Yeah.
original fan of the year, which is pretty
the very
cool.
first, the OG.
The
I'll,
OG.
I'll always I'll always hold it over their head that they owe me a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
someday they'll have a nice warm heart and take me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to get to Houston and go to one of the games a couple of years ago, I think now. And it was a really
Yeah.
great experience. I mean, we were found, I mean, I was a bit nervous, dressed as I am in this crazy cap, but I was made to feel
Yeah.
very welcome, and that was really nice. We had a great tailgate, and there was lots of alcohol there, which was not good. But yeah, it's just a great atmosphere. And so, I mean,
That
I get the impression that, the Texans fandom is, is crazy and really big. I mean, what are your thoughts? Is it as big as it seems?
it 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 fluctuates, but it's big most 99% of the time. Everybody goes
Yeah,
out. A lot of people say, hey, there's not a lot of seats and butts in the stadium, but they're always out in the tailgate. So the tailgate goes
yeah,
off. A
massive,
lot of people don't
massive
even go.
tailgate.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even go into the game. They're just out there in the tailgate having a good time with a
Yeah,
beautiful setup and
yeah,
great food. So um, that's where I see the Texans set apart. The win or lose, they'll be there, but you might find them next to the barbecue pit instead of in the
yeah.
stadium.
That's all good. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
with Texas barbecue, you can't really blame them, you know what I mean? So, like, when
yeah.
does your Texas fandom start? Tell us about the story, because, obviously, two new teams, Jags are new, but Texans are the newest. So, like, tell us about how you got started and, how you, about all your fandom.
well, I grew up, pretty much all Texas fan. I grew up 350 miles south of Houston, and but growing up, I always spent my summers in Houston. I had family in Houston, and that's when I started my love for sports, the Astros, the Oilers, and
Oilers. Yeah,
the Rockets and stuff. And they're we never got any championship titles, until the '90s with the Rockets. But being the Oilers fan and back in the day, and then ended up losing them, it was heartbreaking. So it kind of had to just mope around until the Texans came back, and it was great at the time. I had to work, and I was looking out, helping my mom look out for my dad, which ended up with dementia after and had a bad
uh,
accident. So it
uh,
took me a while to get my butt in the seats. It took me a few years to get some seniority at work and have the weekends off, to be able to travel, to start getting to the games. And it was about 2008. And ever since then, I haven't missed a game, a home game
wow.
at least.
Yeah,
So
it's a
got a
great
lot of those
stadium.
games. Yeah, it's fun. I might have missed one game due to a flu or an illness since
Yeah.
2008, but that's it. So I just stick with it. It's a fun thing to do, and I love, win, lose or draw. We always have a good time at the tailgate.
Good
That's the
time.
best
That's the
part of
main
it.
thing. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
Do you find that there's still a few Oilers jerseys in there somewhere? Do you see them?
oh,
I
yeah.
know that it's
You
not.
see everybody still, repping the Oilers blue. Blue is the city colors. It's on the city
Yeah.
flag. It's on the city police cars. So that color is representative of the city. So a lot of people still wear that proudly. They remember
Yeah.
those days, the blue days. And there ain't no shame in wearing it. You
No,
can
absolutely
still
not.
support that. That's still very much entrenched in Houston, even though Tennessee wants to claim it. They weren't wearing the colors back
Yeah.
then, so you
Yeah.
can't really claim it. If you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question
So,
is, are there any people that are just, that live in Houston that are just absolutely staunch? They went with, when it was the Tennessee Oilers for that one year, and then are they just like, we will not accept the Texans, or has everybody
Yeah,
pretty much accepted the Texans?
everybody pretty much has accepted the Texans, but there are few and far between. Not as much as before. The Texans kind of won over people. The city after it's been, what, shoot, 20, almost 25 years now.
Mhm.
So it's getting close to
Yeah,
25
yeah. And
years.
they're lucky to have such a, a good team on their doorstep, really. So, you know,
Yeah, got to give them
considering
a few
how
of them.
many, you know, yeah, how many cities there are in the US and how many football teams there are, it's they're very fortunate.
So why do they call you toucans? I don't even know this story.
See, there's a beer hat here, but it's got Dr. Pepper in it,
Okay.
and I'm able to drink out of those. So they just call me Dan, the fan with two cans, or just Toucan Dan for short. So
I see
so
our
that's
Dr.
how.
Pepper at the moment.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper right now. I'm keeping it easy tonight.
There's really great things that you can do with cowboy hats. You can always perch some stuff on the brim. So it's really great that you've got the two cans, and double fisted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
pretty
good
I
good.
look.
bet
I actually
I bet
met
it saves
the
people.
inventor of the beer hat. And I was at the World Series in Philadelphia when the Astros were playing the Phillies, and this older gentleman called me in, and he's like, Where'd you get that hat?" And I told him, "Well, I ordered it off eBay somewhere." And then he ended up telling me the story of he was the guy that was the inventor of the original beer hat, and it was like a baseball batting helmet hat, that had the ears on top of it.
Yeah,
And he told me the story of how it took off, and then how MLB and the licensing department got at him, and now he doesn't make a penny off of all that, but he's kind of
that's a
tickled to
shame.
see that it still lives on. And I'm like, well, you
Yeah.
invented it, buddy. It's never going to go away now.
Yep, you're going to keep everything alive if you can. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the Texans go, I mean, they've got just, they've got such a cool logo, and it's fairly easy if you want to paint it on your face. It's not
It
a
is.
super hard one to replicate, and it's just really sharp, and you always think of the Texas flag.
Yeah, I'm enamored with it. I think it grows on you. At first, it's hard for people to take in something new, but after a while, it becomes ingrained into the fandom, and I think everybody loves it now.
I must
It's a
admit, I think
compliment.
I prefer the red, I think, that you're wearing over the blue. I think the red's really sharp.
Yeah, thank you. We like pretty much all the combinations. They all have their different vibe to them. And the way the teams out there, they throw certain ambiance to the game depending on the color you're wearing. It kind of hypes you up differently every week. I dig that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us like about your what's like one of your main best football memories or experiences or something that you've had like as a Texans fan, or I guess any of your fandom since you have other Texans one, but since it's mostly NFL, if you have any cool Texans fandom stories that anything that happened that was really great or fun or whatever.
I have to say, even though winning fan of the year and going up and calling the pick, that was always number one. But I think last year at Detroit, going up on stage and doing the Simon Says competition with fans from all the other teams and
Oh,
coming out the
yeah.
winner. And I was thinking I was going to
Wow,
win a trip
yeah.
to the Super Bowl, but it was just a T-shirt and a cap.
Uh,
I
But
remember
I,
that when you were up there
yeah.
calling that off and doing all that. That
I'd completely
was really
forgotten about
great.
that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so to me that was hilarious, and that was probably more fun than anything. For some just because I won, I guess. Even though I won,
Yeah.
it's just so much fun because I never imagined that I could win the Simon
It,
Says kind. Because I
it
was
does
always
help
like,
if you win.
I was going back in my
Yeah.
memories back to grade school and like, oh, I would fall out real quick. I was like, oh, I can't pay attention. But
Yeah.
now I'm growing up, man, I was tuned in. I was proud of myself.
Oh yeah, why not?
And
Especially
you got a t-shirt.
yes,
Yes.
you've
And
got
I
the
got a
I mean,
t-shirt to brag
yeah, they're
about.
not particularly great, I think, at handing out Super Bowl tickets, are they really? But a t-shirt's better than nothing, I suppose.
yeah, bragging rights too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what do you do when you're not a super fan and when you're not at the games and watching the games? What do you do out in the real world for paying the bills?
Well, when I'm not two cans, Dan, I'm at work. They call me
Yeah.
two cans, Dan. I'm out there working. working the flight lines, making America get out and travel and find a vacation or a football game to go to. So I work in the airline industry. I've been
Oh,
doing it for
okay.
30.
Interesting.
I've been doing it for 30 years, and it's fun. It helps me get to the games. Yeah.
Sounds like you said you've got some seniority and stuff, so it sounds like you can kind of work your schedule to kind of go where you want to go if you want to go to games and stuff, like away games.
Exactly, and I've been doing that pretty hard for the since about 2008. When I was able to get those weekends off and have enough vacation days to string together to get out, and been to pretty much
Yeah,
every
nice.
stadium. I've
Oh,
got
you've
a
been to all the
couple.
Yeah.
stadiums? Do you have any that you haven't
I've
gotten to
pretty much
yet?
I've got to get like I think I need to get RFK, Washington, uh, Pittsburgh, and Seattle off my list, but I pretty much hit everywhere else. So I
Wow,
haven't been
that's a
in a
lot.
hurry to get those off my list because then my goal will end, and but I'm working on baseball too, so I've just kind of slowed it down, instead of trying to get it done so fast so I can live a lot longer because I've got that goal. That's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to not be so stressed out that you can't live your life, So that's
Yeah,
really,
stress is never a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah, because
You
sometimes I
should,
like to stay at home, and I've been enjoying more, because I've gone to so many games to be able to sit home and watch the game on my TV and my couch,
Yeah.
with a cold beer and some snacks, and not,
Oh,
have to
yeah.
fight anybody for the bathroom or take any pictures, just sit there and enjoy myself. That I've missed that, so I don't get too caught up in it as like I used to. So I sit back, smell the roses, and it
Mhm.
more gives me some more vibe and more gusto to go out and hit it again. Kind of
So
miss it a little.
if you're gonna sit in front of the TV and watch your team play, what is your go-to snack then?
Oh, I gotta have my
What are you gonna surround
guac-
yourself with?
I gotta have some nachos, guacamole, something like that, and some maybe some cheesy poofs and
Yeah.
a
It
little
sounds
pepper.
good. I mean, I can't really. I mean, I had a heart attack a couple of months ago, so I'm surrounding myself with things like apples and oranges. It's not the same. It's not the
I
same.
got some, I got some freeze fried okra, man. That'd be good for you. I feel like
Ooh,
that's a
Yeah,
good snack.
yeah. Sounds good.
you have a lot of gear, that you wear and stuff too. Do you have any like good luck charms, like something you can't really watch a game without?
Um, I have this little game. I guess these gloves. These gloves. I've had these
Oh,
for. I
Oh, they're
always have them
cool.
with.
Yeah, nice.
If I don't have them on, I have them looped under my belt. So these gloves and these glasses have been with me for amazingly a long time, at least over 15 years. So I've kept them in
Wow.
good shape, and
Yeah,
they travel well. And like I said, I don't wear these too much. I usually have them taped tucked under my belt, but they've
yeah.
been around. They're kind of like my good luck
Well, that
charm. If
hat's
I,
looking good for 15 years old.
yeah, this is
You know.
another hat that's been that's very old.
Yeah. This one's only 3, 4 maximum years old, and it's got dents in it, and it's just, it's just pretty.
This is the
It's done a
original
bit
one
of
that
mileage.
started. Yeah, that's good when you got some mileage on it. You've been some places.
Yeah.
When they have our own little museums, they're gonna have to be propped up in there.
Yeah.
yeah. You said you got to call out the draft pick. Who was that?
My guy was like the last round pick. His name was Lopez out of New Mexico State, and he stuck around for a couple years, but I think he got picked up in Arizona, so he's still out there playing. I think
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's starting or
That's
not, but
good. That's good.
Yeah. So speaking of the draft, like, what do you think of this year's draft? How do you feel about your picks that were made?
man, I was kind of excited about our picks. We got some good receivers there, but they looked good. Everybody looked good during training camp. With an 0-2 start and not too much offensive production. I can't really pick a favorite right now. I would like to see more of Marks, Woody Marks. He's a running back. It was picked in the later rounds out of USC. And because Chubb, he's been around a while, and we don't want to put too much pressure on him. And Pierce hasn't been doing that good. Um, just give him some more reps. Keep them older guys. Let them get everybody's ready, you know, and hopefully we can get Mixon back soon because we've been missing him. He was a key element for our success last year. So we've lost a couple of really tight
Yeah.
games. There's no, and they're up against some good teams, so there's
No.
no time to give up hope. You know, we've done worse starts and come out winning the division. So you know,
Yeah, people can't freak
That's
out too
it.
much about the start, really. People sometimes do that. They're like,
No.
oh, 2, the world is ending. And, it's not. You can pick it up.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
Hey,
hard to tell you.
The Chiefs are 0-2 as well. So, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Even Patrick Mahomes.
And how do you feel about CJ these days? I mean, he's been getting a little bit of flack, in the press and stuff. Do you think he's picking it up? Do you think he's going to be all right?
I think some people think he's holding on to the ball too much. I think he's trying to read too much. You know, he's not going back to his instincts where he just, get with his favorite guy and swing the ball because he'd already know where he's going to be. We got a new cast of characters out there. Just a
Mm.
little time at training camp doesn't really give you a lot of time to make this rapport that's built up over years when you got like him and his other like Tank Dell. So I think we're trying to add in some other players to the practice squad that maybe come back that he played like college ball or high school ball with, I was hearing. But with a new offensive line coach and new offensive line players plugged in, he's running around for his life. They're picking up this new system. It's not gonna happen overnight. So I'm not
Mhm.
giving
No,
up hope.
these things
He's a
don't
smart
happen
kid.
overnight. It will take
Yeah,
years. So
yeah.
we
Sometimes
just need to make sure that the Texans year is separate to the Jaguars year. So you can have your
they kind
year
of
and
are
then
in the
we'll have
same
our
division.
year.
They all went to Philly. They all won it every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
That's
can't
why.
do it all the time. So how many wins this year then?
You know me, I'm gonna have to say like what do we got? 15-2. That's it. And then
Hey,
Wow.
celebrating.
optimism is
We got to
always
go all
good.
the way to the Super Bowl.
Optimism is
All the way to
always
the,
good.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. He lost his
Is there anybody in the teal? Is there anybody in the Jags that concerns you at all? I mean, what do you think about this whole Travis Hunter thing? Where do you think he should be? On the offense or on the defense? I mean, at the moment, he's still going both ways. I want him on the defense. Where would
yeah.
you want him as a Houston's fan to on the next game? Where would you prefer to see him?
I would go with what he feels. What do you want to
Yeah,
do, son? What how do you think you're gonna thrive in this system? Can
yeah,
you got a grasp of the offense? You feel comfortable? You wanna try it, or we're gonna be able to depend on you? But then the thing you would have to you think about is his reps. If you're gonna let him
yeah,
go both sides, how many reps are you gonna give him? Who knows how much
yeah.
endurance that guy, and then you're risking losing a valuable player in two valuable positions too at the same time.
That's
So
right. If he gets injured, yeah,
you're not just
yeah.
losing one guy, you're losing two.
Two.
So
That's a
Exactly.
good point. Yeah.
You got
yeah,
2 players out then. Yeah.
yeah.
You sit around and you think about the Jags, like everybody does. They think about the Jags all day, every day, right? So, what
Yes.
what do you think like
Yes.
the best thing about the Jags is when you think about them, and then what do you kind of think the worst thing about the Jags is?
I think the best thing about the Jags are their fans, because they got some good diehard fans. They stick around through everything, thick and thin. And I think the worst thing about the Jags are their fans. No, I was gonna say it's the team. It's the team. That's the worst thing about the Jags is the team. Boo Jags. I'm always gonna have to come out and say that. So, but yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are one of the best fan bases out there. You stuck with it through thick and thin. So, as a Texans fan, I can appreciate that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
My brothers and
Yeah.
sisters out there in
I always
football.
like to
Yeah.
ask that because it's just always interesting to see people's opinions, and some people are funny. They're like, well, they got great colors. I'm like, yeah, actually they do. And, in the UK, about 30% of people pick their teams through the logos and the colors. So it's kind of good to have good colors and logo, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's good when you say the fans because they are they're a really cohesive, kind of group of people. And
Team over there, I've been like 3 or 4 times. I've always had a great time. Everybody's been
Yeah.
really nice.
And
And
with success comes more fans. And so, I mean, more the merrier. All are welcome, I say, you
correct,
know.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
everybody.
you've heard about that they're going to have a new stadium, right? Like the Jags are having a new stadium. So When that gets built, you can go check that out and see about the stadium of the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah,
Mm.
that'd be great. No, I look forward to doing that. I've gotta be there.
It's going to have a dome, which is going to be really nice for those hot games.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
guys have your dome, and I remember the game we went
Yeah.
to. It was looking a little bit rainy, but then they decided to leave it open because and it didn't rain, which was really good. But it's nice to have that option in those hot and rainy areas like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like going to Miami games, it's miserable if you're sitting in the sun over there. No,
Yeah.
it's not fun.
They put the away fans in the sun in Miami. They're really smart. So, you know.
They try to do that in Indianapolis, too. But then, they put us in the sun. But we're from Texas, and all they're hurting is their own fans because their own fans will be falling out with heat exhaustion. We're just there with our beers. Ha ha. We eat
Yeah.
food for breakfast.
You guys are used to the heat and humidity in Houston. It doesn't really get much more
Yeah,
humid and hot than that, does it? Maybe Miami, maybe, but Houston can be
yeah.
pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the whole southeast coast. You get that hot, humid coast weather. Oof.
So,
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, what you said you grew up some ways from Houston. So, what town were you from?
It's called Harlingen. It's real close to
Oh,
South Padre Island. It's
I've been
like
there. Yeah, I was just gonna say I took off from there when I went to Padre. So there you
there
go,
you go. So, yeah, that's my area over here between here and Padre. Yeah.
near the
So anyway,
border.
yeah, we're right here,
All
man. It's
right.
beautiful, tropical. It's hot too. So I'm used to the heat. So, but going to Miami, it's like you think you're getting away on a vacation. It feels like you're going home. Same old heat.
Yeah. Do you speak like fluent Spanish and stuff too, being so close to the border?
I wouldn't say I'm a scholar. I won't get robbed and I'll get my point across. But don't ask me to write any essays about it.
You probably know
You can
like all
get
the cuss
by.
words.
You can get by.
Well, I think I made a D back in Spanish class. So just made
Oh
enough to get
man.
by. C minus, something like that.
Bit of time in Texas with the army, and I have visited the Alamo, I have to say. But yeah, I mean, I've got no Spanish in me at all, so no lingo, no.
You visit any Mexican restaurants? Did you get some good tacos and good food in you?
Um, yeah. I wanted to go to have some authentic Mexican food in the state capital. We went there and on a rare break because we were staying at, where was it? Fort Hood, I think we were staying. So we moved down from there. And yeah, I had some authentic American food. So that was nice.
Uh,
Authentic American Mexican food, you
So
mean?
Mexican
Mexican
American,
food. Yeah.
Tex-Mex, what they call it over there.
Yeah, it was cool.
I
Yeah.
actually really like Tex-Mex. I mean, some people they'll like cut it down and say, "Oh, well, that's not Mexican, that's Tex-Mex." But I actually like Tex-Mex food. I think it's really
A
good.
little bit of barbecue, a little bit of tamales, a little bit of tacos, a little bit of all of that mixed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I like the seafood tacos too, like the Baja style. I like all that, like with the cabbage and the Baja sauce and fish. That's really good. I'm sure in your part of Texas, it's probably maybe it's not as much fish, maybe it's more of the beef and stuff, but they're all
Everybody,
good.
right there. So we get a lot of ceviche, they call it, where you put in the
Mm.
shrimp and fish and lime, and it cooks in the limes and stuff. So you're not really
Mm.
eating it raw. We get a lot of that, a lot of oysters, just
Man, you're
short cut.
making me hungry. I just got back from
Uh,
a trip
Dinner time,
overseas and I
right?
haven't had my Mexican fix yet. So I need to go tomorrow and have my breakfast burrito.
There you
You
go.
take me
yeah.
to those. Those are so good. Wow. It's really cool talking to you though. I remember seeing you
Yeah.
up on stage doing the Simon Says, and you
That
were just such a positive, kind of Texans
Yeah,
influence.
that's a good.
thing that remains is on my videos and things, I always say the way I say goodbye is by saying cheerio. So how about giving me your best impression of the word cheerio in your best British accent?
Cheerio, my man. Cheerio.
Cheerio.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and then how
Hello,
about a big old
Texas.
Duval?
Hello, Duuuuval, baby.
Oh,
Duuuuval.
Yeah.
baby.
Next week.
Well, we'll see
I
you
can
on
do it.
Sunday. And, I hope that we have a good game anyway, no matter who wins.
Hey, thank y'all, man. Bless you
Yeah.
and good luck. And hopefully nobody gets hurt and safe
That's
travels wherever
right.
you go.
Yeah.
Yes. That
Lovely
sounds
talking
good.
to you. Thank you.